Hello, I'm Catherine Corelli. Я σας είμαι η Κατερίνα Corelli. I'm... I don't know, I kind of feel like I like to throw in this little one-liner in Greek nowadays. It just feels good. And I don't know, tell me, how do you... If you ever learned a second language, a third language, a fourth language, whatever, what do you feel in your brain when you learn? I'm curious. I'm genuinely curious because people are different and people use different approaches. I, for one, and that's my own personal approach, I don't know how efficient it is really, but something tells me that I'm just kind of making it, one could say, making it much more difficult on myself. But on the other hand, I'm kind of trying to force myself to understand without much rationalization. So as of right now, I'm learning Greek with Duolingo. And I think a lot of people can say, well, Duolingo is very helpful and all this. This is not how I was learning French back in 2014. Because back in 2014, what I did, and I kind of knew that I wanted to be able to speak French at least in 1 year. I didn't have a tutor. I was trying not to use Google Translate. And what I did instead is the shows that I was watching, like Supernatural, for example, I've downloaded the entire show. At that point, it was like season 1 to 8 with French dubbing. I also downloaded the Resident Evil movies in French with a good French dobbing. And gosh, there was a whole bunch of other movies which I knew very well in English. And I deliberately did not turn on the subtitles. I didn't care for the subtitles. I was forcing myself to just immerse myself in the language and watch the movies that I knew well in English to now understand them and to catch the context in French. What I also did, I've switched the interface on my social media platforms, the ones that I was using every day. I switched the interface to French. Video games. I was playing World of Warcraft back then in 2014. I switched the interface to French. I even named my characters in French. At Dungeon Keeper 2, that was another game, one of my favorites. I switched it to French. Fortunately, there was a French dubbed version, which, by the way, was pretty damn cool. And then almost every evening, I was talking to my French friends on Skype. And it was so horribly difficult in the beginning because it was really difficult for me to express myself or to just piece thoughts together. So I did have to go back and forth, between Google Translate and trying to formulate my thoughts, and my friends were correcting me all the time. But eventually, in a relatively short period of time, I was able to catch wind of something, and I started to develop some kind of a footing in French. And then it got better and better and better. And then actually in 1 year, I was pretty good. I'm not saying I was stellar, but I was pretty damn good. I was able to write, I was able to read and understand. I was listening to French news channels and I could understand what they're talking about. I could more or less freely express myself. My lexicon was expanding all the time. And then when I went to France in early 2015, my lexicon skyrocketed because I immersed myself in the actual French in person. I was trying to think French. I was trying to speak French. I was trying to understand French without any translation. And it worked. Now, I'm kind of trying to replicate that thing, but this time I have Duolingo. So with Greek, it's kind of different. I think I don't have anybody to talk to on a daily basis. I contemplate looking into an app that would provide me at least with an AI tutor so that I can try to talk. But I'm really trying to memorize words instead of writing them down. I did that in French. I wasn't writing anything down. I wasn't writing down, sitting there and, with a notebook and writing different forms of verbs. I was trying to get a feel of what does the past tense feel like? What does feminine gender feel like and masculine gender? And how do you ask a question? How do you ask this question with this kind of feel to it? How do you invert the structure of a sentence? What comes across as more sophisticated and more formal, and what is a less formal approach? What are the common expressions? I was going for that. And I'm kind of trying to catch wind of that same thing in Greek. And I'm trying to think Greek. So oftentimes nowadays, when I just wake up, I'm trying to form sentences in my mind, and then I'm trying to actually say them. I'm trying to express things in Greek, and I'm not writing anything down. I'm memorizing. And it's quite an expensive experience. So my point here is I'm trying to first develop a feel for the language instead of trying to rationalize through it, because I understand that. I don't remember who was that, Pecca de Lucia, I believe, in an interview with someone, he once said that when his dad was teaching him to play guitar, he didn't teach him the theory and the notes first. He first taught him to feel the instrument, to just play and develop a feel for it. And then afterwards, later, he introduced him to theory and to chart music and things of such nature. And I think that the same approach might be very efficient in language learning. I don't know. It's my theory. Maybe it works for me and maybe it doesn't work for a lot of other people. I have no idea. But that's kind of why I'm asking. If you learned a second language or third language, how did you go about this? And did you learn anything exotic? Because, the most common ones, it appears, are Spanish for English speakers, French, maybe Italian, but Greek, that's it appears to be pretty exotic, because I'm trying to find, like, some apps just don't support Greek altogether, or they don't have a language course for Greek. And it kind of sucks, because I intend to be fluent. It's a difficult language because it's an ancient language, just like Russian. It's very difficult because it's a very old language. And so I'm just contemplating different approaches. Tell me what you think. Tell me what was your experience if you learned a second or third language. I'd like to know. And with that being said, well, here is what is it called? Off into the Morning. This one is called Off into the Morning. This happy young horse, galloping along the beach in the morning. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being with me. Thanks for subscribing to my channel. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the bell notification, of course. And thank you. Now, with that being said, thank you very much. And until next time, ciao.